I said that Kamala Harris's campaign is mostly centered around identity politics. And although I completely understand and respect the excitement associated with nominating the first woman president, the first black woman president, the first South Asian American black woman president.
You're in this mess because you couldn't be bothered doing a little bit of research about a topic that you're talking about.
Be Better has a strong business background and real-life work experiences, which makes him very good at yapping.
Now, if you've watched YouTube for more than 5 minutes, you've probably seen some video in your recommended showing the absolute horrific downfall of a YouTuber or a celebrity, their fall from grace. You know, whether it was a serious allegation or them just falling off or even ending up in prison. And I feel in the past couple of years, we have had a supercharged amount of cancellations. Usually, I think like, you know, let's go back 3-4 years ago, cancellations would probably happen once or twice a year and there'd be huge allegations. I mean, for example, you can look at, I don't know, James Charles and then how he replied with a response. People didn't like that response and now he basically has a fraction of his original following. But I feel like now, especially with the inclusion of TikTok, call-outs and, you know, downfall videos are like, there's like 3 a day. It's actually difficult almost to keep up with them. And this has also created a horrible cycle where legitimate accusations are actually being buried because there's so many fraudulent ones that keep being spewed out every day. Now, you obviously clicked on this video for some more juicy slop. Well, I would like to talk about the Be Better company on TikTok. Now, this is a really successful TikTok account. They have just under 1 million followers. Now, if you look at this website itself, it seems pretty inoffensive. You know, you got like some fancy line of herbal honey to treat various things, like for example, getting sick, getting better sleep, stomach aches. And this is what I love about the supplement industry. It is, for the most part, a complete scam. Again, that's not a brave statement. Many people have debunked that, but I think, like, you know, a great example is a lot of people, right? They complain that they're tired all the time. Here, take this drug, take this Floradix. It's got B12 in it. That's going to make you feel awake. The problem is, it's not going to make you feel awake because the reason why you're so tired is because you didn't go to bed until 4 in the morning because you were browsing on TikTok. And it's created this horrible cycle where social media is the reason that we're all so anxious and we don't get enough sleep. And then social media is the one that is, you know, profiting off selling us all these supplements to apparently make us feel better. Now, the Be Better company made a weird shift in content. They actually became like a pseudo commentary channel.
I'm starting to get very annoyed with nutritionists on this app who come on here and tell people,
you can eat Lucky Charms every single day. That's what I do. It's fine.
Okay, so if by the end of this video, I don't convince you that Nara Smith uses some of the darkest, most psychologically manipulative marketing tactics I've literally ever seen used on social media, I will delete my entire account.
They were discussing the downfalls of various celebrities such as, you know, Mr. Breast, Nara Smith, Jojo Siwa. And then they would occasionally post a brutally honest review of a certain influencer product or a viral place like Air One. If you don't know what Air One is, by the way, it is an absolute meme. It's basically this grocery store in LA. And like, I swear water there costs you like $60 or something. Now, why would you do that? Have humble beginnings trying to sell honey only to become a drama slop YouTuber? Well, yeah, it's views. It's obviously views. And if I complained about that, I'd be a hypocrite. I mean, this guy running the account is getting the bag just as everyone else. But you can tell, if you go on the account, you can see the exact moment when this shift kicked in. So in visiting the page, you can see it's very apparent, you know, the first downfall video actually got 15 million views. And then the owner of the account realized that he could shill more of his, like, you know, savior honey if he was able to, you know, make these more kind of viral videos. Also, when I say honey, I instinctively think like I'm about to break into like a honey sponsor or something. I actually don't know what honey do. Something coupon that they work with Shane Dawson. That's pretty much it. And apparently as well, this got the account 600,000 followers within 3 months. And that is, whew, that's a lot of fun. You're doing very well for yourself, Mr. Honeyman. That's great. Now, the guy that runs this account wants you to know that he's a master of marketing. He will get you to watch his videos with his beautiful oiled up face, his luscious filled lips, and he also goes on to explain constantly that he's a master's in marketing and can explain from the marketing point of view. And also, he always shows the degree as like a way to prove it, and then he throws it off on screen. That thing has probably been shattered about 20 times now.
I have a master's degree in botanical medicine, and today I'm going to use it to expose why this brand by Kourtney Kardashian is one of the biggest scams I have seen in the supplement industry.
So this doesn't sound like a drama situation that is truly insane / crazy. So why am I talking about it? Well, if you go on the guy's analytics, you'll see that he dropped 100,000 followers very, very quickly. And I think the worst thing about all of it is he was snubbed of getting 1 million followers. So just before he was about to get 1 million, then he lost 100K. So if you're unaware, and you probably are because the majority of people that watch this channel are from America, America is having an upcoming election. Now, originally the election was meant to be Trump against Biden, but Biden went into the sleepy chair. He didn't really wake up. So now it's Orange Man against Cackling Woman. Now, I did get a lot of backlash in the previous video where I addressed Kamala Harris. I called her like Carmela Harris. I'm just going to keep doing that. I think it's like a tomato thing. It's just genuinely like my accent. It just makes it easier for me to say. So since the election's coming up and Carmela is basically going to be running for president, she has tried very hard to appeal to the Zoomers. You know, she's done really insane, whoa, quirky things. Like, for example, embracing being brat due to Charlie XCX's tweet practically endorsing her. You know, people can say it's a bit cringe, it's a bit awkward, whatever, but it holds no flame to the awkwardness that was I'm just chilling at Cedar Rapids.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Or as well doing TikToks of people who endorse her, like for example, Megan Thee Stallion.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Megan Thee Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States.
Everybody,
What do you have to say to the American people?
we are not going back.
So it really shows that she's trying to appeal to young liberal Zoomers as much as she can. You know, she wants to suck up all of those votes. And I get it, because the thing is, young people are the most vocal, especially on Twitter. But then when it comes to actually turning out to vote, they're too busy crying on Twitter. They never turn out. It's like a tale as old as time in the UK, especially. It's like people that are like, 18 to like, late 20s. They're very vocal about who they're going to vote for. Do they actually vote? Wait, I gotta leave the house? There's a Fortnite event. I can't do that. There's a 7-hour video essay I've got to watch from my favorite YouTuber. I can't leave the house. I'm not really sure what Orange Man is doing all of this. Probably just appealing to anyone that drives a lawnmower drinking Monster Zero Ultra. Now, all was good for Kamala Harris until Be Better stepped in and said, no. How dare you? How dare you try to get Zoomers to vote for you? So I'm actually going to make a video called The Downfall of Kamala Harris. By the way, it's not the actual downfall. It's the downfall from a marketing point of view, but saying downfall, it sounds better. So technically, free speech is allowed and you can criticize any person that you wish. Now, if anything, that can be a good thing. It can pressure someone to, take criticism and improve, especially if they want to become, the leader of a country. And it also helps you, a voter, decide what you want to vote for. Right? This is the logic for like basic politics, I guess. But yeah, Be Better really wasn't happy with that and basically did a now deleted video talking about basically he wasn't happy that Kamala's campaign was too heavily focused on identity politics. Because Kamala Harris could be the first female president, Hillary Clinton, unlucky. Let us not forget the cringe tweet she put out 7 years ago saying, happy birthday to this future president. Can I get an unlucky? Unlucky from Cedar Rapids. But also on top of being the first woman, she'd be the first woman of color to be president. He's basically concerned, saying that Kamala doesn't have like a clear vision of what the country is, basically just trying to absorb and suck in as many voters as she can. And he's also concerned about her social media strategy and how much that is being focused in the campaign. Almost like, we'll get as many votes as we can, and then maybe later down the road, we'll do some changes. I don't know. Are we going to win? Now, he's claimed that a lot of these metrics are like, severely inflated. I'll let you laugh and get it out your system. And he also feels that the demographic that are being targeted right now to vote, they're too young to vote, which is hilarious.
Hi, so I have a master's degree in business, and today I'm going to use it to analyze the marketing strategy of Kamala Harris's campaign, and ultimately why I believe if she continues with the horrible marketing strategy she has been employing, why she will ultimately end up losing the presidency to Donald Trump. So based on my objective analysis, I believe that Kamala Harris's campaign is built upon very flawed marketing strategy that is very heavily relying on superficial social media engagement, identity politics, and a highly crafted and tightly controlled public image of her persona that is so far removed from the reality of who she is and so socially and media engineered to the point that it is essentially a house of cards that is doomed to collapse. So the first marketing strategy that Kamala Harris is employing, and we are all collectively experiencing it, whether we realize it or not, is the blank slate strategy. The only reason it's even remotely effective is specifically because she is solely relying on identity politics. And although I completely understand and respect the excitement associated with nominating the first woman president, the first black woman president, the first South Asian American black woman president, and that's something that is exciting and something that will understandably galvanize a certain demographic of the population that will vote for her solely based on that alone, I do not believe it is a substitute for an actionable policy platform that will actually impact the lives of the American people. So it seems like her campaign is relying on the sole fact that people will be so excited to vote for the first black woman that they will be willing to overlook the fact that she doesn't have a true vision for the country. I do not believe that is something that should be relied upon, especially in the context of the United States, where the election will be decided based upon tens of thousands of votes in specific swing states.
Now, depending if you're a lefty or a righty, you might love Kamala or you might hate her. Now, a lot of people have been saying that she's basically been keeping her campaign more about the policies that she stands for and shared concerns that another Trump presidency could do major damage to America. To be fair, like, again, I'm a British person. I don't really have any dogs in this fight. Uh-oh, guys. He's going to take the coward centrist stance. Uh-oh, he's a grifter. But no, seriously, I don't want to commit to a statement that I haven't done like a 50-page thesis about, because I feel like that's what you need to do nowadays, or you just read like a Wikipedia article for 5 seconds. But I feel like with most cases, to be fair, you know, every opposition will always say, you know, if we don't get in, the other people will get in, and they're the bad people. And a lot of people have also said that Kamala has never really said that you should vote for her because she's a woman. And then people started to call the TikTok account out, basically saying he was projecting his own narrative onto Kamala Harris. Now, so far, blah, 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 this blah, 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 politics, blah, 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 boring. Where's TikTok drama? This hurt my brain. Lefty, rightoid? I don't get it. My brain shutting down. Right, okay, you want me to talk about the funny drama? All right, here you go. There's a guy called Gary Guo, and a creator on TikTok discovered this guy's private LinkedIn. And then obviously he became like a full-on Reddit detective, did a full-on background check on the guy, probably more than like any job you would ever get in your life. I mean, people, these like Redditors and TikTokers that do background checks, they are scarier than like trying to get a job at like the NSA or something. So first of all, they got B Better's real name, which is, oh, for God's sake. Dude, you are setting me up right now for the biggest Metro's booming good kid mad city triple red thing, right? Look at that name. That has to be bait, right? That has to be bait. There's no way that's actually his name. All right, his name, I'm saying this slowly, I'm not being caught out by Reddit again. Tilly Machos Betacatis. Tilly Machos Betacatis. Okay, that's not that bad. It's funny how he has B in his name. And then this investigator went into his proudly boasted educational background and experience. Here it shows that he's currently working for his dad's company, the Airbus of America, while also running Be Better.
I just found Be Better on LinkedIn, the guy who makes all the downfall videos of different celebrities, who literally gained 600,000 followers on TikTok in just 3 months. So let's see who he really is. His real name is Tiremakos Bitsakakis, and he got his undergrad at Wilfrid Laurier University, which is ranked 29th in Canada. In every video, he says,
I was the youngest person in Canada to ever graduate with an MBA.
And it's probably true because he got his MBA right after undergrad at age 23. Most people get their MBA at age 28 when they have 5 years of work experience. Anyways, during university, he worked at Shopify as a marketing specialist and then at another company. Then, in 2022, he started his honey business, Be Better, where he sells these herbal honey for $80 a jar. This is how he learned about building a business and why he started criticizing celebrity brands online. Currently, Be Better works at this company called Airbus of America as a market research manager.
By the way, if you're wondering what Airbus is, it's like a rubber company. They probably generate so much income. It's insane because, I mean, from my logic, I'll be honest here, the websites you go onto that look the most boring, they're the ones that always make the most amounts of money. So a lot of people quickly summarize that the guy is a huge Nepo baby. You know, he's got like his daddy's money. Oh, my daddy gave me all this money and now I get to make a TikTok account promoting my bee honey. I mean, personally, there's nothing wrong with being a Nepo baby. I mean, I came from a working class background. Both my parents were teachers. You know, being a civil servant in the UK is an actual meme. You get no money. I don't care that people are Nepo babies. I'll obviously use it against you in a debate. So, okay, Nepo baby has been established. We can attack him. We can attack him now because his parents were rich. He didn't work for it. But then people started to look into it even further and actually found out that a subsidiary of Airbus is named in an investigation into companies that bypass certain rules to get huge contracts. And this was all during the Trump administration. Apparently said deal was ordered by Peter Navarro, a man who has had many different roles in his time during the Trump presidency. Fun fact, at the minute he's actually serving jail for refusing to comply with a subpoena regarding the January 6th insurrection back in 2021.
His LinkedIn profile was exposed by this creator, where we learned that the degree he always brags about is from a university ranked 29th in Canada. His family business where he is currently employed is not the honey he sells. It's a very profitable rubber company with ties to government contracts. A subsidiary of that company is named in an investigation into companies awarded huge contracts by the Trump administration. The deal was directly ordered by the Trump White House through Trump henchman Peter Navarro. The same Peter Navarro currently serving prison time for refusing to cooperate with the January 6th investigation.
Now, again, I don't want to get political, Andy, right? I really don't at all. But I find it really funny that this kid who is promoting, like, you know, wholesome honeybee is going after the lefties when secretly his daddy is making deals with Orange Man. And then people looked into it even deeper and found that, you know, Be Better himself, the owner of the account, the kid whose name, I'm not saying it again. I'm going to show it up on screen. I'm not saying his name again. He might be actually trying to bypass supplement regulations due to marketing this food product, honey, as a medicinal supplement. God, I bet KSI and Logan Paul wish they did that. They probably would have saved so many FDA investigations.
It is alleged by Canadian commenters that he might be skirting around supplement regulations by marketing a food product as medicinal supplements. The main criticism of him was his microaggressions against women and people of color. So it's interesting that he sources his ingredients from a place where women have never been allowed to set foot on for hundreds of years.
Also, this honey that he's promoting, saying like you can't get it anywhere else, you can get it from like the Greek island where he's getting it made. And he's charging 8 times as much as the actual cost.
We previously covered how he's essentially just heating up wholesale honey from Greece and mixing in herbs. Greek commenters allege this honey costs €10 at their supermarket.
Repackaging our collective trauma and then selling it back to us.
So if anything, he's directly hurting the economy by yoinking their product and then marking it up. This is the equivalent of like a drop shipper's paradise. So in the end, Mr. blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm not saying his name. I'll show it on screen. I'm not saying his name again. I'm not having you guys catch me out for mispronouncing someone's name. He ends up apologizing and saying that Kamala Harris does not run her campaign based on her identity. And he does actually apologize for believing that such a point was accurate at all.
So I wanted to come on here and address a previous video that I posted, a video that has now been deleted for obvious reasons because it completely missed the mark. And when I'm constantly talking about accountability, I'm going to hold myself accountable as well. So the first thing that I said in that video, I said that Kamala Harris's campaign is mostly centered around identity politics, particularly her identity as being the first woman president. And the reason now why that was such a stupid comment is that it is factually wrong. I now see she actually hasn't mentioned that one time. And this is so disappointing for me to know and to realize and admit that I adopted a right-wing talking point to the point that I actually thought it was true and then perpetuated that as if it was a fact.
Now, this is really funny. I made a lot of jokes throughout the video at Hillary Clinton's expense. He actually tries to blame Hillary Clinton to like use her as an out. He said that he may have projected concerns from Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign.
I think part of it was maybe I was projecting the fears from Hillary Clinton's campaign, where that was the focus, and Kamala Harris's is not. It's completely different. And she hasn't made that the focus at all.
You know, because back in 2016, Hillary was heavily reliant that, you know, she is a woman. I'm a woman. My husband did not cheat on me. I'm a woman. You know, Hillary back in the day when she was running, when she thought she was going to win, LMFAO.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president.
No puppet.
You know, she had slogans like, for example, I'm with her. Now, B does actually go back and doubles down on a point like many, many people do, making an apology. Basically saying he can't believe what he said is sexist because he has 4 sisters.
And the reason why I'm so specifically disappointed in myself for that comment is that I've never thought of myself in my entire life as somebody that has a sexist bone in my body. I have 4 sisters. Every single adult friendship that I have is with women. So it's not been something that I've mentally taken inventory of before.
He also clarifies as well, really strangely, that the wording he used around her intelligence was also incorrect, and he didn't mean it in like a sexist way.
So the other specific thing that I said that I do want to hold myself accountable for is I said something to the effect of, if Kamala Harris hasn't done the intellectual work on picking a specific policy, she could be in a scenario like a debate where she's backed into a corner and doesn't know what to say. The choice to use the words hasn't done the intellectual work, while although I had no malicious intention behind it, I can see it was a completely idiotic statement to make, and I need to be much more careful when I choose my words.
And he does conclude on the point that he believes that women in society are held to higher standards than men.
And the other reason why my video rightfully angered and upset so many people is because the factual reality of our society is that women are held to higher standards than men. People of color are held to higher standards than white people, and women of color are arguably held to the highest standards of all. And that's true in families, in relationships, in school, in work, and in politics. At every single level, it's true.
And then he ends the video by basically thanking for the people that are calling him out, probably behind absolutely gritted teeth, and says that the video he made was more dangerous than it intended to be.
And I do want to genuinely thank everybody that held me accountable both publicly and privately, and specifically to the people who were hurt by my video, but still took the time and had the patience to speak with me in so much detail and give me the space and the grace to understand something that I should have understood and should have never happened to begin with. And ultimately, I do not believe having a social media platform is something I'm entitled to. I think it's something I have to continually earn. And I absolutely will be putting checks and balances on myself and my content to make sure a mistake like this never happens again. And to the people who are genuinely disappointed in me, I'm genuinely very, very sorry.
I don't know. I don't know this guy. Again, I got no dogs in this fight. I just know he's a little Nepo baby. But I feel like, you know, a lot of people use that excuse when something backfires. It's like, I put something out there on the internet and I had no idea it would go so viral. It's like, once you put something out there on the internet, it's RNG. It can go viral. I put stuff out there before that's gone viral and I think to myself, ooh, that's kind of an L take, chat. We get some L's in chat for that one. But it's like, I don't sit there and go, you know, I didn't expect it to do so well. You know, it's like, once you put something out there, you have to deal with the consequences. Although, keep in mind, he does do this kind of like blanket apology about the, you know, Kamala Harris stuff. He doesn't actually talk about how he's a bit of a Nepo baby with his daddy, an Airbus, and also, you know, be better trying to possibly bypass supplement regulations. And also the fact as well that, again, they're leeching off an already existing company because you're paying 8 times as much to be able to get hold of some honey that you can buy from the Greek island. So as expected, a lot of people are mixed if this is like an actual apology or not. One user, Trap Twitch, actually said that although he says the right things, that doesn't actually always equal to taking accountability.
Be Better just posted that damage control video about Kamala Harris. And we can all see right through it, and you're rightfully being held accountable for it. This was your follower count just after posting that horrible video. And this is it now. You're in this mess because you couldn't be bothered to do a little bit of research about a topic that you're talking about. Granted, in this video, Be Better, you're saying a bunch of the right things. But that's because you're trying to manipulate us in the public again with your BS tactics.
So it is interesting going ahead to see what's going to happen with the Better Be account. I feel like their reputation for a lot of it has been tarnished. Was the response damage control? I don't know. I feel like if you do a response, you need to address everything, like no stone unturned, because if you don't, then you leave the ability for people to just attack you more down the road. But also, like I said near the start of the video, we have so many callouts and so much drama. You know, there's like 10 a week now, to the point that everyone's probably going to forget about this in like the next day or so. I mean, a great example is like, you know, I have so many like old fans, like old heads that have been watching me for years, and they say to me, you know, why don't you bring back ASAR, a series of tubes? That was great. You did like, you know, a weekly summary of everything that happened. I can't. I literally can't. I'd love to, but like the way that the internet works now and the way how like news coverage and stuff like that is so saturated and how everything dies after, you know, usually, you know, back in like 2017 or something, you could probably leave something for like a good week before it became stale. Now, because there's so much happening and everything is so supercharged, and also keep in mind, we've had a whole generation of people being born on the internet for a change, not growing up with the internet, born on the internet. So there's so many more people online, so much more news is happening that you basically have to cover something within the first 24 hours of it happening. Not even that really. The first 5 hours of it happening, or it's dead. Like, it's completely dead news. But yeah, what's my take on it all? Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where I want to be. Five Nights at Freddy's.
I got the pretty.